Askreddit. Millennials, what is one thing that the rest of us just don't understand? We didn't give ourselves participation trophies in addition. No kid ever got a participation trophy, and though this is amazing I am a winner, you either don't care about it at all or you realize how much of a symbol of losing it was. We got some really shitty advice, did everything we were asked to do, and when it didn't work we got bitched at for not doing it hard enough. I think this is really the big one. They complain about millennials making bad decisions and doing things wrong when they did exactly what they were told to. Boomers, do your homework. You don't want to be flipping burgers the rest of your life. Boomers, study hard in school. You don't want to be flipping burgers the rest of your life. Boomers, get into a good college. You don't want to be flipping burgers the rest of your life. Boomers, go to class. You don't want to be flipping burgers the rest of your life. Boomers, get your degree. You don't want to be flipping burgers the rest of your life. Millennial, wait, I worked my ass off, did all of this. Why the fuck am I flipping burgers for a living? Question. Boomer, are you complaining about flipping burgers? Question mark. Your generation is so entitled. The reason older people can get away with not being a computer technology person is not because they are unnecessary. It's because you have your kids and grandkids to do that shit for you. Stop shitting on technology and maybe just say thank you to them. Every time you bash millennials for taking participation ribbons, remember who came up with that stupid fucking idea. Here is a clue, it wasn't us. Not only that, but my dad's got a box full of participation trophies from his baseball youth football days, the late 60s mid 70s. What were we supposed to do? Hi, I'm 10 years old, and I reject your participation trophy because if you're not first year last nap, I just said yay, chess tournaments are fun. Oh, I get a trophy? Okay, whatever you say, I just want to play more chess. Labor jobs are not shameful and you can actually earn good money doing it. Trades are dying because we were told to go to college and then get a desk job because it's better than what mom or dad does now. I make more money now as a 23-year millennial in a labor job than my parents made combined when I was growing up. But they had a large 2-story house in the burbs when I grew up, and now that I make such good money they can't fathom how I still can't afford to get my own house, or why I still have to drive an old beat up truck rather than have a newer vehicle and park out in a garage of a nice house. Probably because y'all fucked the housing market and economy so bad that making $80K a year I still can barely afford to support my wife, who also works, and son, the freeloading 2yo that just refuses to get a job. Geez. Edit, RIP my inbox to relatable. I make about $80K a year and full benefits as a dental hygienist, but the city I live in keeps getting more and more expensive to live in that I can barely afford a decent house if I budget really well and pretty much say goodbye to having a life. I'm 24 and single, so that doesn't really sound too appealing right now. The economy is growing but our paychecks are not. Economists will tell you that wages generally increase with productivity, that you're paid in line with the value of what you do. Related to this, that a $20K salary today is not equal to a $20K salary decades ago. This is so important. I had a VP laugh when I told them we needed to pay someone $60K minimum for a position I was tasked with replacing that had previously been budgeted at $42K. I had to work with the CFO and fight tooth and nail, and they finally asked our payroll company to estimate the job value. When it came back $72K, they immediately approved $60K with benefits without question. We had a really awkward situation hiring last year where every applicant for a junior position were requesting $15K more than the manager that was hiring the position. They ultimately had to opt to go with a 22-year-old straight out of college to get the rate. She's a rockstar, but that incident kicked off a huge company salary assessment. That's how I got my first raise at my second job. Basically said, hey, I don't mind interviewing hiring people that make more than me, I get why it happens. But I do mind when it's someone straight out of college and they're working for me. Here's my number. To the company's credit, they said, you know what? That's a good point. Fair enough. The whole I had my house paid by the time I was 25 from old people. Houses cost a whole lot less then, Barbara. I paid my way through law school with a night job, yeah, and your law school was fucking $450 per semester, Dennis. When we don't really sell ourselves on Microsoft programs in job interviews, it's because that's like asking if we know how to write. We grew up with the shit. It's not hard. Edit. Just to address the most common response, I understand that Excel is way more than adding functions and has amazing capabilities beyond my comprehension. My comment was more of an attack on jobs that put so much emphasis on Microsoft Office programs, and yet they only require basic functionality. I think that only applies to Word, and I've learned a ton of stuff you can do in Word in my current job that I never knew about. Excel is a whole different language and I know nothing about the other programs. You can't pause a raid in Warcraft, okay? You just cannot. I had the best petty revenge on this. My mom was obsessed with some Facebook game. When she did the match puzzle she couldn't pause it and was only given 2 minutes. I would bug her relentlessly when I knew she was playing and would say, why don't you pause the game? She laughed at it when she figured out I was doing what she used to do to me. My uncle used to berate us as kids for playing video games. All the nonsense of we are rotting our brains, should play outside. He would ground my cousins for months from video games and then throw them away at times. Fast forward to him getting an iPad and downloading Clash of Clans. He's never not playing it. Like to the point to where he would text us all advice for the upcoming war in the family guild. One Easter he was talking about maybe giving up the game for Lent and the first thing out of my mouth was, so now you can see after all those years of yelling at us, how easy it is to get hooked on a stupid game. He didn't say a word. Best feeling ever. Edit. Easter is after Lent. This was at Easter lunch and he was talking about how he wanted to continue the challenge of giving some the whole just go get a better job put out for a promotion line of thought. A lot of the time we just can't do that, and one particularly annoying part of it is because you are still sitting at the top. In my profession there is very little to no upward movement. The median age for a full-time teacher where I've worked is in the late 50s, early 60s. Nothing against them, as sometimes they can have brilliant ideas, techniques. But it's frustrating to look at the job ladder and see no one going up because people can't get off, and you can't get on. Edit. Wow, never thought my most rated post would be voicing my vague frustrations to the ether. Not sure if to thank you guys. Just to clarify, I know that this is a symptom of the greater failings of how things are run. It wasn't meant to be an ageistic in particular, just my frustrated observations on my current situation. I'm actually moving out of my country in a few months for a job with a typical amount of hours. While here I have to compete with the casual market in those relief apps. For those who don't know, when a relief position appears, the school uses the app to send a message to everyone on their lists and it's practically a race to accept it. Have to spend all morning watching my phone like a hawk for even the chance at one of those positions. It doesn't help that if I don't get enough work in the next few years then I just drop off the government's books and have to re-get my qualifications. Partially the reason for such high teacher turnover losses in graduates. Older generations. Find what you love to do and do it. Also older generations. No, don't do that. You can't make a living off that. You have to wait till I'm done before you can have a job. And I totally forgot to save for retirement. Lotto, and don't mind us ruining the entire company's long-term health with short-term stock pumping schemes.